Hello again, everybody. So it's steak night again for me and my daughter. So we're going to have a couple of these ribeyes. So really nice. I've spoken about ribeyes before, but that's the one we like. So it's got a good amount of fat in there and it's full of flavour. But last time we did it in a frying pan. So this time we're going to do it in one of these. So that is the griddle pan, and this will get some really nice lines on it. So I'm not going to dwell too much over the steak. The main thing is going to be the Béarnaise sauce, which I really like, but my daughter doesn't, so she won't be having it. I'm going to save some for my wife. So the Béarnaise sauce, whenever we go out, if it's available, I actually don't tend to have it unless we're in a particularly smart restaurant, because it's probably from a packet. And while something like peppercorn sauce is quite nice from a packet, Béarnaise sauce, not so much. It does taste quite chemically, but you can make it yourself quite easily. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we just have a look at these ingredients. So we'll get the steak out of the way for now. We don't need him anymore. So for our Béarnaise sauce, we're going to need something called a reduction. It's not complicated, but that's going to be our first job. So it's going to involve equal amounts of white wine vinegar, some peppercorns, and some tarragon. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And what we're also going to need for the actual sauce is some freshly chopped tarragon. So I've actually got some of this in my garden, but I've got this one from the supermarket because my plants are still quite small. I don't want to kill them off. If you do grow tarragon in your garden, make sure it's this stuff. It's a French tarragon. If you grow Russian tarragon, it'll grow really well, but it's got basically no flavour. So these are a couple of egg yolks we're going to use for the sauce. And this is some clarified butter, so it's nothing fancy. It's about 180 grams here for us. And this has just been melted. This is just one of those things that you have with the iron, isn't it? One of those little things to fill it up. It's ideal. So it's just melted butter. So the pure fat is on the top, and at the bottom there are milk solids that we don't need. So I'm going to show you now how to do the reduction. Okay, so this is our pan ready for our reduction. So we're going to add equal parts of white wine vinegar. I'm doing this by eye. Our tarragon, stalks and all. And our peppercorns. So I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to reduce it down by about a third. And then we're just going to strain it. We don't even need to strain it. You could just take out the peppercorns and the tarragon, but we're going to strain it for our sieve. And then you're going to have more than you need, but you'll be able to keep it. It'll keep forever. It's like, well, it is vinegar, isn't it? So you can keep the stuff forever. And next time you make your Béarnaise sauce, you can use this. Okay, so this is now reduced by about a third. So I'm going to turn this off. There's a lovely smell of tarragon and vinegar in the air. Ooh, but don't inhale too deeply. So over our sieve here, let's get this through. So you can have enough here for probably about 4 lots of Béarnaise sauce. And like I say, it'll keep forever. So that's what we've got. Excuse the big ugly jug. Right, we're now going to move on to the next stage. Okay, just before we make the sauce, I'm going to finely chop this bit of tarragon here. Not too fine. So yeah, we don't particularly want bits like that. I've got rid of all the woody bits. But it's really nice stuff, this. Very delicate herb. So we'll go quite fine. You don't need to see me do this, really, but those last bits. You want quite a bit of this. Get rid of that stalky bit there. Yeah, you don't want it to be too subtle. So what we're making here is really a hollandaise sauce, but with a tarragon flavour. So that'll be perfect for us. That's really nice. Okay, so this is my bowl, and underneath I've got my water. So the water is just about on the boil, but you don't want it any higher than that. You don't want it boiling away. So I'll add a couple of spoons of our vinegar. And now we're going to get these eggs in and get them moving. We're going to get them nice and fluffy. And once we've got them to the point we want to get them to, we're going to take them off. It's just starting to change now. You see, the whisk is just starting to leave lines. Lift that up. Don't be afraid to take it off. Back on for a second. There we go. Okay, so we'll just come over to my board, please, Saf.
Okay.
So now it's already looking a bit like hollandaise sauce. So now we've got to get this in slowly. But then we can add it a bit quick at the end. So a little drop by drop. Get it in. And if at any stage it's a bit thick, we can add a little bit of water. So it's looking just like we want it here. As you can see, this is a very, very healthy sauce. Good source of calcium. Now we're only going to have a little bit of it. So as you can see, it's looking a bit like a mayonnaise, isn't it? What do you think, Sam?
A little bit.
A little bit. So we're looking nice and thick now. We've got most of the butter in. Okay, so I just want to add a touch of water to that. Okay, so just a tiny bit of water. There we go, I think that'll be okay. We'll keep building this up. There we go, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to add any more of that because I don't want to get the sediment from the butter. It's quite a nice thick sauce. So I'll clean my whisk off. Let's get in our tarragon. I'll use my little teaspoon, that'll be okay. Now a little bit of black pepper. We're going to do another taste later with a bit of steak, but it's nice, but needs seasoning. So there's no salt in there, of course, because we clarified the butter. All the salt was out at the bottom. So let's not overdo it. Mix that in. It's very, very, very rich, of course. Perfect for steak. Let's move quick way. That's much more like it. So, tiny bit more salt. And again, a bit more pepper. Let me have a little taste. Yep, that's banging. So I'm going to put that into a little pot. I'm going to cover it over. We're going to keep it warm while we do our steaks. So we're ready to cook our steak now. So my griddle pan, it's been on for about 10 minutes. So it's gone past the point of smoking hot. It's now stopped smoking and it's absolutely red hot. But you need it that way, especially when the steaks are a bit thin like this. So we like our steaks quite pink. So by the time we've got our lines on both sides, crisscross lines, which add a nice flavour, by the time we've done that, the steak's going to be cooked. So you want it really hot. And once you put your steaks on, that griddle pan is going to take the heat. It's going to lose the heat. So, some of it anyway. So just have a quick look at these steaks. We've got them to room temperature because you don't want them fridge cold. So they'll cook a bit better. Just want them dry. Let's dab that up there. There, we've got rid of any excess moisture. That over there. So, a little bit of oil. A groundnut oil would be better. This is olive oil, but we'll be okay with this. So a little bit of oil on that side of the steak. Little on that one. Flip them over. Let's have a little more there. So yeah, if you actually oil your pan, it'll be really smoky. Now when I do these steaks, I have been known to set off the smoke alarm. So if that does happen, I apologise. So a bit of steak, sorry, a bit of pepper. Quite a lot of pepper. Plenty of salt. Which one do you want, Saf?
The big one.
Ah, I quite like the fattier one.
Which one's the fattier one?
Yeah, that one there.
Okay. Then it's salted.
So we're perfect, aren't we? So I'll give you a little bit less pepper, eh?
Yeah.
Sorry, Saf, I forgot myself. There you go. I'll give myself some more to balance it out. Is that alright?
Yes.
You won't taste it, honestly. Okay, so we're ready to go over and cook. Might as well go straight over, eh? So I've got a tray ready to put my steak on to rest. So let's lay these on. So we go that way, then that way. So we're going to just give those time now. We're not going to muck about with them, just to get the nice lines. Okay, so we just have a look under here. We've got some quite nice lines there actually. So what we'll do, we'll leave it on the same side, just to make it easier. Pop it over there for a second, that one there. Don't be afraid to move these things around. So we know we've got nice lines there. We'll get the lines going the other way now. So yeah, the pan's already smoking a bit less, so it's not as hot as it was. Pressing these down gently, just so they make a really good contact with the bars. Okay, so you just see if you can, yeah, can you see how nice crisscross?
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh yeah, happy with that. So yeah, we needed that heat, didn't we? So we'll get these, oh look at that. That is good. So now a little bit long on this side, just to get these bar marks. Ooh, let's have another look. Yeah, getting the nice lines once more. So get them on their final side for that last crisscross. So yeah, it's not just a fancy pattern, it is the flavour. Those caramelised bar marks will taste absolutely fantastic. Caramelisation, that's your flavour. Yeah, it's well worth the risk of setting off the smoke alarms, in my opinion. So the steaks are rested, they're all ready. So this is what my daughter's going to have. So she can have that in 2 seconds once she's finished doing the filming. So we'll just bring out this one here. So put it on the board. So I'm going to try a little bit of it on the board with my sauce. So there we go. So a nice medium rare. Right. Let me just try a little bit of that. You don't want to try it, do you, Saf?
No.
Let's dip that in the sauce. I'll have to make sure I don't eat too much of this because it's very, very rich. Oh no, that was really nice. I think we need to get on with our dinner, don't we?
Yeah.
Thank you for your filming, Saf. You want to do the like and subscribe bit?
Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate it. And if you want to comment down below anything that you want to request for my dad to make, then he'll try his best.
We have a little taste as well.
Yeah.
Little taste of my one. You don't fancy the sauce?
No.
Don't you worry. Okay then,
That's
it's not
really
for everyone.
good without it though.
Thank you very much, Saf. Okay then, thanks everybody. Bye bye.